All right, so Sydney, game on training. Let's see if we can see where your stomping ground is.
Yes.
Back here, see what's going on. See if we can find Mr. Rick. I already said he wasn't gonna be here, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, Miss Sydney, we got you here at Game On Training, getting ready for that podcast, right?
Yep.
So what I want to know really right now is, tell me exactly what Game On means to you. I know I've seen you several hundred times coming through the door, going straight, making a beeline to Mr. Rick in training. How old were you when you first started coming at Game On?
I was probably 9 or 10 when I started coming here. I've spent many hours just my dad sitting on the bucket, him catching me, and countless lessons with Coach Rick.
Yeah.
On days I didn't want to be here, I had to push through it, but it means a lot. Game On means a lot to me.
Your dad put in a lot of time.
Yes, he did. He's spent so much time catching me.
He's put in a lot of time. We tell him about those dads. They're amazing.
Yeah.
That's all going.
I would imagine that having a covered area to practice, it should have been nice, you know.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
So Coach Rick, he's usually on that far side over there.
Yes, sir.
If there's anything Coach Rick has told you, or what little nugget has he's always told you, which is going to impact you for the rest of your life or either to the next level? Is there anything?
To be the best.
To be the best.
Work your hardest to be the best, and believe that there's no one better than you.
I love it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So we had a young lady over there earlier, and she was pitching. She was probably 9. She's probably 9 years old, and
might strike me out.
She might. Yeah, she was really good. And so I just want to see if we can get that feel from you over there pitching. But Coach Rick is not here, so we can't really pitch today. So let's head up to the podcast room, ladies first. We'll stop at the corner. And time. Let's go. All right, we got Sydney in the house today. Good. Have a seat. Kentucky in the house. I don't know if this girl's gonna stay over here. I don't know. She might take all the pride and glory. I don't know. Is this brand new or what? It's one of your show gloves.
It's a stock glove. I ordered one, but I didn't send in the right form, so it got messed up, and it was the wrong size too. So
Right.
But it's a nice glove.
So before we really get started, okay, that jacket is so awesome. I want you to take that jacket off and put that jacket on.
I don't have all my patches from this year either.
There you go. So you don't have all your patches on it?
No, I haven't had my banquet for this year, so I don't have them yet.
So before you put it on, tell us about each one. Not a whole thing, but point them out for us.
These are from 2020.
Right.
Region and state champs, and then these two are 2021. Oh, these 4 actually are 2021. I don't even know what's on here. All 4 of these are 2021.
Okay. Excellent.
This is Region 2019.
2019.
And then that's basketball region.
That's okay. We got a hooper in the house also now. Okay.
And then 2018, that's for my 8th grade year.
Oh, wow.
And then 2019, region champs and state champs.
8th grade year, state champion. Wow. That's amazing. Hang that up for me, Chris.
You want to hear?
Well, I guess we want her to put it on, man. Yeah, my bad. Let's put it on real quick.
Okay.
We just want to see. Wow. That looks great. Mine's never filled out like that. I think I had one pack of football. One or two maybe. Let's see, turn around one time. Let the camera get to that. Awesome sauce. Good. All right, we can peel that off if you want to. All right, so we're here today for another episode of Outside the Line podcast. My name is Lee Hughes, and I have my co-host over there, Mr. Christopher Hunter. We also have an amazing athlete today, Sydney Langdon. She's committed, signed, sealed, and delivered. We need to deliver soon, right? To the University of Kentucky. As you see, all the patches, she has state after state, after state, after state, after state. Is it one more?
No, well, yeah, but I wasn't there for that.
She wasn't there for that. But she had 5 state championships. That's amazing. So today, we're happy to have Miss Sydney on with us today for Outside the Line podcast. Sydney, tell us your name, tell us who you are, and where you're from.
I'm Sydney Langdon. I'm from Perry, Georgia, and I'm a pitcher. I grew up here at Perry. I was born in Kentucky, actually, so.
Come on.
And we moved around a lot when I was younger, so we went to Oklahoma for a little bit, and then here in 2011, and we've been here ever since. So.
Wow. So we wouldn't say it's like going home with it, would we?
Sorta. I wasn't there very long. We weren't there very long after I was born, so
okay.
It's gonna be good to go back. I'm excited.
This is where my sectionals was.
Oh, really?
When we played sectionals.
Right.
It was in Kentucky.
Really?
Wow.
I don't think I ever actually stopped in Kentucky and I hear about the horses and stuff like that, but I never hear about,
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But
You got Louisville Slugger. That you remember that picture I took with Hank Aaron's bat
right.
at the Louisville Slugger factory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So Sydney, you've been amazing. Not just your senior year, junior year, sophomore year, freshman year, even 8th grade, being pulled up to play with the varsity team. Mm-hmm. And you also sealed a state championship as a 8th grader. Tell me about how it really feels to be in this situation, that girl. You know, we try to keep it real on the outside of the line. Because a lot of times we say that dude.
Yeah.
How it feels to be that girl.
Well, it's definitely taken a lot of hard work. I remember hitting that home run in 8th grade in the championship game. It was just awesome. It was like surreal.
Did you hear that? We're gonna learn a lot of stuff tonight.
But having to fill that role as an 8th grader, having to step up and not be one of the leaders, but you just had to grow mentally there, and it was awesome. But
wow. That's amazing.
Did it come from so as an 8th grader, you just coming from Little League and some.
How much Little League did you play? I'm sorry to cut you off, Chris.
No.
I started at T-ball.
Yeah.
All the way through as old as the age groups go.
Okay, so you stayed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I was getting to was did those local leagues prepare you to say, hey, I'm gonna step in and now look, I'm an 8th grader playing for a state championship, and boom.
You definitely have to give it credit because it taught me how to play the game of softball.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped prepare me. If I hadn't played Little League, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So.
It's good to hear, and I'm sure your Little League coaches, if they see this, they'll be proud to know that they sewed into championship caliber softball.
Wow. And so you've been at Westfield. So Westfield's your high school. You've been at Westfield since 4th, 5th grade or 5th grade. Yep. Were you playing any during that time, or no? You had to wait.
No, I didn't start playing softball at Westfield until I was in 7th grade.
To the 7th grade. Okay. So were you on a travel ball team during that time, like sixth
yes.
grade or
I
something?
I was on a local travel ball team.
Okay.
We played in Atlanta and some in Florida, so but that definitely helped me a lot.
Wow. I know it took away from the little leagues at some point. But
Sorta.
Yeah, not really.
No, not really.
You don't mind. You're kind of like me. We spread kind of thin. We do a lot of things. She don't mind going where softball is. Sounds like. Wow.
Yeah.
I always wondered about Westfield. You know, I never really visited Westfield. I think I've been to a couple games. But tell me what kind of school is Westfield and how you feel about Westfield.
I love Westfield. The people are great, especially the softball program. My teammates are awesome. They all work hard every single day in practice, and they give it their all every single game. But that school means so much to me and everything that they've given me, so I'm very thankful for that.
Parents picked a nice school for you, huh?
They did.
Good stuff.
I always wonder about that, and you can comment on this. Is we got a D1 athlete.
Son.
You know, usually you hear about it from huge schools. You know, like that's where they come from. Like, is it that way in softball? Like, or do y'all get recruited? You know, they just show up or do you go to showcases? How does that work?
So during the summer we go to showcases, we go to some really big tournaments. We go to one in California and Colorado and Oklahoma, stuff like that. And then they'll contact me on like September 1st of my junior year is when we can actually start talking to coaches, and that's how they recruit us. They also come to our travel tournaments and watch us and stuff like that.
So you're actually talking about your travel team traveling, not necessarily your high school team.
No, not my high school team.
Right, your travel team.
Yes.
Yeah. And so were you thinking about high school?
Well, just in general, you know, like
how does it factor with the high school recruiting?
Yeah, like did you during the recruiting process, did you draw a lot of recruiters to the school, or did they only see you like out and about? Like I always wondered about that. Like,
they usually don't come to the school unless you're after September 1st of your junior year. They'll come and watch you if they can talk to you. So.
Wow. You always wonder, how's the grind as far as recruiting? Is it real tedious? How much does it take on the parents? To trust certain schools. You'll be gone for 4 or 5. You never know, even 6 or 8 years, depends. You may even live there. A lot of students, they end up living in the same area that they go to school. And so you have to, as a parent, you have to really think about, where you're sending your kid. So it's not all about the school, it's about the area, it's about the city, it's about the state, it's about the entire whole, that coach, the parents, the professors, all that stuff. So on your visit to Kentucky, what really impressed you the most other than the softball?
Probably the academics. They have my major. They're great with like athletes. They've got tutoring for athletes. They schedule their classes around their softball or whatever sport they're playing, so that we can get everything that we need. They have a ton of food for athletes.
Here we go, the food everybody talks about.
And then campus is absolutely beautiful.
Really?
It was just gorgeous, and I loved when I went. It was awesome.
Wow. Tell us about the major. You mentioned they had your major. Go ahead and tell us about that.
So I'm majoring in kinesiology, which is
that just came up. Yeah.
Which is like movement of body. So I want to be either a RN or a nurse anesthetist or something like that. So.
Oh, that's. What did you get that from, nurse anesthetist? Do you know someone who's
No, I don't know anyone. I just think it's cool that what they do, and it interests me. So. That
is very cool. Anesthesiologist, the doctor, then the nurse anesthetist. Then you also have the nurse in charge, and then you have the nurses that are in the OR, that are in the operating room. So to actually be a nurse anesthetist is would be amazing, and you can make a lot of money. Those cats making loot. They're making good money, so that's an excellent field. You really need to think that hard. I like that one. That's one of probably about the best I've heard that I like. You know.
Yeah.
I know. In that situation, you don't work hard. You work smart. You know. And one of the key things I've always heard the nurse anesthetist say, you might get away from saying that, it's not coming out right. But you can always put somebody to sleep, but can you wake them up? That's how they make their money, by waking people up, right? So always think about that. You can put anybody to sleep. I can put Chris to sleep right now, but can I wake him up?
Yeah, it was, you say that, like, I had shoulder manipulation on both shoulders. The guy came all the way from, like, almost a state over.
Really?
To do exactly what that's all he was here for.
Yeah.
You know, and he was working through Ortho, Georgia.
Exactly.
But he was coming almost from Florida.
Wow, so medical field. Any other fields you're thinking about, or you just kind of locked in on that?
No, I'm pretty locked in on medical field.
So any more softball after college, are you thinking, or you thinking? Because there's a lot of stuff out there now.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there, but I don't think I want to do that after college. I want to work and get a job and that kind of thing.
So if Team USA say, hey, we need you on the team. I mean,
that'd be a tough decision.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's several other countries that have softball teams and all that. I mean, that'd be tough to actually leave.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of money to be made in softball.
I mean, I think though, it's commendable to hear you already have kind of, you know who you are. Softball is what you do.
Yeah.
You know, but you seem to know who you are and what you want. It's pretty commendable.
Exactly. Tell us about your. Tell us a little bit more about. I know you kind of briefly told us a little bit about your travel team. So, what's the name of your travel team? How often you get with them? And you know, if you want to speak on the coaches or the players, you can definitely do that also.
Okay. I play with the Birmingham Thunderbolts out of Birmingham. I go to Birmingham in early June, and we have like a week-long practice, and on the weekends we'll have a tournament, and I travel with that team all summer. So we fly as a team, we travel as a team, and we stay in a hotel as a team. So, and my pitching coach actually on that team is Giselle Juarez, and she was a pitcher at Oklahoma. She was she won a national championship, which is a really big deal in softball. And she was, I think she was player of the year, something along those lines. But she's an outstanding pitcher. And my head coach just got a coaching award at one of their coaching banquet things.
Sure.
So, yeah, we've got a great coaching staff.
Wow.
And a lot of the players they're all committed to D1 universities, so we've got a great organization and great team.
So is this the only school, travel team that you played for? I know you made, at some point you told me you hopped maybe one or two teams, but to actually stay on that team years back, how many other teams? Because I've known players to move around a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it always the goal to find that best team for recruiting, or is it just, hey, you know, I need to move because this team is not working for me? And how often has that happened to you?
So I started on a local travel ball team here in Warner Robins, but I wanted to, I knew that I wanted to go to the next level, so I had to make the tough decision to move on to Georgia Impact. And I stayed with that team for 3 years. So then after that, I went to EC Bullets for a fall, and then I decided that
East Cobb.
Yes, East Cobb. And then I decided I wanted to go to Birmingham Thunderbolts because I thought that was the best decision for me at the time for recruiting and winning also.
It paid off.
Yes, it did.
How does that come up though? Like, you know, Birmingham, like how does it come up? Okay. You were obviously a talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people probably putting birds in your parents' ears saying, hey, what can we do to get her to, you know?
Yeah.
And to hear you say that they're all D1 commits, that's a different type of travel ball. You know, that's a different type of, hey, can you play for my team? It's like, hey, we have a plan for you.
Right.
And this is the plan. Is that how it goes, or how did it happen?
So when I was on Impact, we always played them, and they beat us every single time. So I was like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So,
Let's go!
I tried out. So I tried out, and they let me on the team, and the rest is history.
So it sounds like, you know, you tried out and they let you on the team. I mean, they was probably super happy to have you.
Well, I mean, every player has to go through tryouts. You don't just get a free spot on the team because that roster is packed full of talent. So
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Love that answer.
Were there nerves? Like, probably some nerves. I mean, you're trying to make, you know what I'm saying, make something. Like, how did that go? How did, like, hey, I'm here for my tryout for the team. Like, what was going through your mind, and then how did you feel when it was over?
Well, at the time when I was trying out, they were having an organizational practice, so they had like 10U through 18U players there. So like all the Birmingham Thunderbolts girls were there. So it was like, I was kind of nervous because I didn't know anyone, and there were a lot of people there. So I was like, ooh, I don't know about this, but I mean, the tryout was somewhat intimidating, but I just went out there and did my thing. And,
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, cream rises to the top. So that's what I think when you get up in levels.
Right.
That's what coaches know. Like,
The best of the best.
you made the first pitch may be in the dirt, but then the next 30 pitches are heat. You know, and that's what I think elite coaches know. It's like, if this player's supposed to be here, you know, 2 seconds, 2 minutes is not gonna. You know, so. Wow. So tell us, moving on to who you are, you know, because softball, this is outside the line. I didn't know you much, so I'm always interested in the exploits of softball, you know. But let's move to who you are as a person. Like, tell us about the rest of your family. You got anything to say about the rest of your family?
Yeah, so my dad played Division III basketball at Wabash. My mom was a really competitive swimmer in high school. She went to Purdue. And then my brother, who's a freshman in high school, he is committed to Mississippi State to play baseball.
Oh.
So he's...
As a freshman.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a bloodline there. So
Yeah.
Something's going on. Is it the grandpa? I feel like, who is it? Mom's swimming and dad playing basketball. They used to have the rock. So what happened? What switched over to softball and baseball?
I don't know. I mean, I played just about every sport when I was younger. I mean, gymnastics, soccer, volleyball, basketball, I played it all. I just liked softball the best, so I stuck with it.
Wow.
I understand why girls specifically kind of like softball.
Right.
Because y'all get hyped in the dugout. Are you one of the ones that kind of gets hyped? Like, it's fun. My daughter didn't play. You know, she played like t-ball, and then that was it.
Right.
But it was always fun going to softball games.
Yeah.
You know, like, because y'all talk a lot of junk. You get your team hyped. I mean.
And I thought it was just younger girls, but it's all the way through.
Yeah.
It's all the way through.
And I'm like, what in the world?
Oh, and it don't get any more professional and
It's worse.
Yeah, they was playing tennis at Mercer, and they were having a big tournament,
Right.
like right behind the tennis courts. You could hear
The girls.
everything, and they got the music, everything. It's pretty fun to see that.
Wow.
Yeah, you look forward to it.
Oh yeah, I love getting hyped in the dugout.
So what is your favorite chat? What is your favorite? This is outside the line, so bring it to us.
I don't really have a favorite. I just kind of.
Well, give us one. Give us one.
I don't
You
have
can just
one.
talk it through.
If someone's in the box, say number 42,
Mm-hmm.
hey 42, let's go right here, kids, something like that.
Okay. Motivation. Cheer
Yeah.
on. Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's always good. We talk about the teams. I know Chris wanted to go outside the line a little bit, and it's kind of hard because this is some good stuff.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
to be honest with you, so it's kind of hard to stay outside the line. But on the same line is, what kind of teammate are you? I mean, what are you giving to you? What are you giving your girls? I know you motivate them. I know some things you do at practice, but tell us what kind of teammate you are.
So I'm a PO, so I don't hit. So when I'm not pitching, I'm always in the dugout, like cheering on whoever is in the field or talking up defense, cheering on the batter in the box if we're in a tight game, stuff like that. But I love to encourage my teammates. It gives me a sense of purpose when I'm not pitching. So when I'm not pitching, I like to be their biggest fan.
Biggest fan. I like that. That's good stuff.
This is outside the line. It's a dirty question. Are softball teams catty?
Some of them.
It seems like though. It seems like organizations like the one you're with out the Birmingham. I would hope they weed that kind of stuff out.
Yeah.
Like they kind of keep it. Hopefully, there's people that don't have a horse in the race, if you know what I mean. Like it makes them like. I'm not showing favoritism.
Right.
Yeah.
I was there at practice.
Right.
Like I don't have a kid on the team.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to throw that in there, like, see.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with outside the line. We really want to know about your Instagram. We want to know about your Twitter. Do you really dig into the social media? I know it can be good and bad at some point. We also want to know, what you like to wear, where you like to go. Do you eat pizza? Do you eat hamburgers? Chicken wings? I mean, we want to know all that good stuff. Are you all just eat salads or?
Not really.
Outside the line.
Let's see. So when I go, if I'm just at home, just relaxing, I'll just wear a t-shirt and shorts. If I'm going to a more formal event, like prom, homecoming, something like that, I'll wear a dress. I'll go out and get a dress and do the hair and the makeup and the spray tan and all that goodness. So
We hadn't heard that one. Spray tan. That's nice.
I lived it. Sorry.
So, you lived that.
Yeah, Hannah was.
Hannah loved that. The spray tan. But I knew, you would get a tan. I knew she would get a tan, but not necessarily go get spray tan.
Well, prom is at a certain time of the year. Prom mostly it's coming after the spring.
So it's not a lot of
tanning going on outside. So you have to go and do the artificial.
Yeah. These dark people, we don't know anything about that.
I woke up like this.
They woke up like this. Good stuff.
If you could give me a real quick rundown on that last batter, knowing that it was over, right? Knowing that the season is in your hands,
I mean, it was definitely, I can't even describe it. It was
Right.
just knowing that it was my last batter that I'd probably ever pitched to in high school. It was just an awesome feeling, and even ending it in a strikeout was even better because it just set the tone, I guess, for the ending of the game, and it was just awesome.
Well, Sydney, it's good to hear all of that. Tell us about your coach with the Birmingham team.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's really tough on us.
Hold on, what's his name?
Rock Thompson.
Rock Thompson.
Yep.
Okay.
He is extremely tough on us, but he holds us accountable. There was one tournament when we were in Atlanta, and we went over. We lost all of our games, and he had us in the parking lot in the pouring rain.
So it was raining?
Yes, it was. That whole weekend it was raining on and off, but after we had lost that game, it started pouring, and he made us stand in the parking lot for probably 30 minutes talking.
Wow.
And
there's a metaphor there.
So he was in the rain?
Yes,
he was talking with
you.
Yeah.
That's the coach
Yep,
for you.
all the coaches were in the rain. And then about 2 weeks later, we went to California and we went undefeated and won it all. So his speeches work.
What about personal things that he might do to inspire you or bring you back in, reel you in, motivate you? Tell us about that.
So if I'm in the circle and I'm not having a great game, he'll come out there and he'll tell me to dominate the strike zone, like do what I'm supposed to do what he knows I can do.
Sure.
And that he basically just says to dominate. I mean,
so real quick, we've been coaches and we've had similar talks with players. Like, we kind of know y'all know that already. Like, what does it do to you? You see you walking out there. Tell us a bit, like, what's going through your head when he's coming out there? Just give us a real dynamic picture of what you're thinking during that moment.
Well, I see him walking out to the mound and like, oh goodness, what's he gonna say this time? But it's usually along the same lines, almost every time. But for some reason, it just, I don't know, it just clicks better in my brain, and I dominate.
Does it change from practice to the game, or is it different or the same?
It's the same.
It's the same?
Yeah.
Consistency is everything.
Yeah.
Any particular words that he say? Good words that he say? That sticks?
He always says dominate the strike zone. That's like his saying when he talks to me. It's like, just dominate. So.
It's crazy, like pitching. It takes a lot to be on the mound or in the circle, and every eye is on you. You know, is that stressful, or is it just is it calming for you? Is it a place like home for you? Or do you get a little stressed on that? Is it how's that? How do you overcome that? Some adversity.
At times it can be really stressful, but I've learned to just block everything out, and I just focus on the batter, and I just focus on the catcher.
Wow.
So my catcher, I have a great relationship with most of my catchers who have caught me, especially in school ball and travel ball. So I can always rely on them to be there in stressful times and just to have my back behind the plate.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it can definitely get stressful, and you have to learn to take a deep breath and just do what you know how to do. So.
Do you think your teammates understand that the stress that you may be going through, so they kind of comfort you at some point, or everybody in their own zone? Or do you feel like they're kind of not catered because you're their favorite, but they feel the stress of the game, and so they're kind of coming to you and excuse me, saying we need you.
Yeah, I think they definitely feel the stress of the game because, I mean, it's a team sport. You can't do it all by yourself. So they definitely, I think they feel that, and I feel like we all help calm each other down in those stressful situations. So, but yeah, I definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, along the same line, this is outside the line, but obviously dealing with what you do while you're here. So you have the all D1 team, then you have the school team. I imagine everybody's kind of walking around with the same moxie on the D1 team. You know, like, hey, hey, like, I'm just as good as the next.
Right.
But your school team, there's a paradigm there that, like, has some of your other teammates come to you saying, hey, I want to try to do, what you're doing. Like, what's that experience been like?
So I was the only senior on the team this year. So some of the juniors this past year, they are also getting recruited. So they sometimes come to me for advice, or if they have older siblings, they already kind of know what's going to go down. But it's definitely taught me to be a leader on the team as being the only senior, and I love to give advice to people. So whenever they come to me, I'm there for them.
I would imagine you mean to say I love to share advice. Because it's I would imagine that you've been groomed and guided, so you're sharing that experience with them,
So you're playing basketball now. You hadn't played since
my sophomore year.
sophomore. Okay, so you played 9th and you played 10th grade.
Well, no, I didn't play my freshman year.
You did not play, so
I
only
only
1
played-
year.
Yes,
This is
1
the
year.
second year.
Yep.
So, I mean, what was that? What's that about? I mean, you're on the bigger and better things, and now you want to shoot the hoop a little bit?
I mean, I only have one more chance to play basketball, so I figured why not take the opportunity and just have fun.
So, okay. You have to really enjoy your senior year.
Yes.
Well, Miss Sydney Langdon, as we're starting to wrap up here, I'm reminded about Lee's tagline of "Wherever you are, be there." And earlier, I heard you talk about Rick. When you've been training here at Game On, and we asked you, like, what are some of the things he always says? He was like, to be the best. How do you be the best in the wherever you are, be there moment? How do you be the best?
You definitely have to do little things. Go to work out, eat right, go to every optional practice if there's one offered, and just do the little things that somebody else wouldn't think to do, because it will definitely help you to get to where you want to go. But yeah, just do the little things. And if you have a day where you don't want to do the workout, you don't want to pitch, you don't want to hit, you have to push through that, and you have to be mentally tough.
Wow. So basically, Chris mentioned wherever you are, be there. Basically, wherever you are, be there basically means, if you're sitting in this chair, if you're visiting Kentucky, or if you're in the circle, you should be there and nowhere else. Just like you zero in to your batter, and that's the only thing you're thinking about. And you're trying to get that out, you're trying to get that strike. Wherever you are, be there basically means be in that space. Wherever your feet are, that's where you should be. And if you can harness that, and if you can be there, there's almost nothing you can't accomplish, So if we're here at Game On training and we're actually doing a podcast, honestly, we shouldn't be thinking about anything else. We should be trying to put on the best podcast we can. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Wherever you'll be at, I want you to start thinking about that. It's really helpful. It's actually helped myself out on bigger stages.
Yeah.
I've been in I coach for Team USA. I've been all over the world, and I've been in a situation where I really wasn't focused. I got stage fright, and as a coach, that's one of the things you don't think your coach do that, but the coaches are in that situation, and so I had to go backstage and be there. I had to actually tell myself wherever you are, be there, and it changed just like that. And so the next time, my athlete went out there and totally dominated, because he could feel, he could sense his coach. the first time around, you know, just kind of, you know, chaperoning him.
Yeah.
But the next time, I was like, let's go dominate like he normally dominates. So it's good stuff. Wherever y'all be there, remember that. I know one thing we was talking about was teams coming in to visit at Westfield. I know you definitely had Kentucky to come through.
Yes.
Were there any other teams that came to actually visit you during your recruiting time?
Indiana University, their pitching coach came, and Ole Miss's pitching coach came to watch me.
Okay, excellent. And so we're getting ready to end the podcast, right? I just want to say for myself that I've seen you come through Game On Doors, like I said before, several hundred times, and I knew that she was on a mission. I knew that she was driven. There was never any playtime. She giggled maybe here and there with her friends, as we all do. But every time I saw her pitch, she was driven. So the way she practiced, I'm sure she took it to the game. So I want to just say congratulations.
Thank you.
University of Kentucky is lucky and should be very proud to have you on staff. We have this nice little blanket for you, so you're gonna take that home with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll catch you on Saturdays or Tuesday nights, or maybe in a championship game one day.
Maybe Mercer and book them.
Maybe Mercer book.
Yeah.
You have anything?
It's just always, again, we want to thank the viewers and ask you if you like this content and you like getting to know Miss Sydney Langdon here, please like, share, and subscribe. And I just want to, it's seeing the way that the youth athletes, you know, can sit here and not shy away from quite different questions and have thoughtful. It's actually provides some heartwarming hope.
Yes.
For the next generation.
For the next generation. TNG.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope that Sydney will come back. You know, come back to Perry and mentor other youth. You know, is that something that y'all do?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've considered, like coming back during the summers and giving back to the community and just giving lessons and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, or even in Kentucky.
Or even in Kentucky.
I never know. Never know. So we're going to end this podcast, but before we get out of here, Sydney, we want you to tell the world what's on your mind. If you want to inspire somebody, if you want to talk to the youth, or you want to talk to your teammates, your coaches, thank your parents or anyone like that. Anything you want to say to wrap up this podcast is yours.
I'd like to thank my parents. They've given countless hours, money, sorry, I'm starting to tear up. Countless hours, a lot of money, time.
A lot. They've done a lot. I've seen them come through this door. I know them without knowing them.
Yeah.
You know, she's actually trained with me, you know, for a small amount of time, but just seeing them come through the door with a smile and saying hello, thank you. You know, Dad was always, you know, very nice, and the mom's, she's super nice also. And you were saying that they use their money.
Oh yeah.
They use their time.
Yep.
They went away from other members in the household.
Yep.
To make sure you had to split off.
Yep.
One had to go here, one had to go there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last thing you want to say to your parents then? The last thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was looking for that.
I'm just so grateful.
I was looking for that. So that's going to end Outside the Line podcast with Sydney Langdon. She's headed to Kentucky. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in.
Peace out.
And wherever you are,
be there.
all right.